ഡ്യൂട്ടി എടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. സർക്കാരിന്റെ മാർഗനിർദ്ദേശപ്രകാരം ഇപ്പം DCC ഡൊമിസിലറി സെന്ററുകളിലും ആരോഗ്യ വിഭാഗത്തിന്റെ ചാർജ് മെഡിക്കൽ ഓഫീസറുമായി അതത് പഞ്ചായത്തുകളിലെ ആയുർവേദ MOമാരെ നിയമിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് ആരോഗ്യവകുപ്പിന്റെ ഒരു ക്ലാസ് ജില്ലയിലെ എല്ലാ മെഡിക്കൽ ഓഫീസർമാർക്കും നൽകിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. പ്രതിരോധ ചികിത്സാ പ്രവർത്തനം ആവശ്യമായ മരുന്നുകൾ ലഭ്യമാക്കുന്നതിന് ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ് തലത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ ജില്ലാ പഞ്ചായത്തിന്റെ ഫണ്ട് ഉപയോഗിച്ചും അത് നന്നായി ശ്രദ്ധ ചെലുത്തുന്നുണ്ട്. എല്ലാവരുടെയും ഒത്തൊരുമയോടുള്ള പ്രവർത്തനം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് കൂടുതൽ ഫലപ്രദമായി മുന്നേറാൻ കഴിയുകയുള്ളൂ.
എന്തോ ഒരു കണക്ടിവിറ്റി
ആണല്ലോ. മാഡത്തിന്റെ മ്യൂട്ട് ആണല്ലോ.
മാഡം അൺമ്യൂട്ട്
മ്യൂട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞോ? മാഡത്തിൻ്റെത് ഡോക്ടർ മാഡത്തോട് സംസാരിച്ച് തീർന്നെങ്കിൽ ദിനേശ് ഡോക്ടർ തുടങ്ങായിരുന്നല്ലോ.
കഴിഞ്ഞല്ലോ.
കഴിഞ്ഞോ?
ദിനേശ് ഡോക്ടർ വിളിക്കാം.
ദിനേശ് സാറേ തുടങ്ങാമോ? നമുക്ക്
സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാം.
യെസ്. Am I audible to all?
കേൾക്കാം. പറഞ്ഞോളൂ.
Yes, okay. A very good evening, one and all. At the outset, I extend my sincere love, thanks, and gratitude towards all office bearers of this wonderful program, especially the state program manager of the NAM, Dr. Saji, my dear friend, and his team, and my lot of elderly brothers like Dr. Padmakumarji and a lot of other colleagues, and so many of my students are attending right now in my session. So a very warm good evening to one and all. I know that so many classes had been carried out already under this NAM regarding this COVID, and actually the program conductors of this wonderful webinar are real warriors of COVID warriors of Kerala in Ayurveda stream, because when we compare with the faculties from an Ayurveda college, these are the people, or these are the doctors, the real warriors of Ayurveda against the COVID. They have fought against COVID since last 1 year, and they got a lot of exposure, plenty of exposure since last 1 year, especially from Kerala. And I am here just to make some formulations, or just to make some streamlining of your experiences. Number one. Number two, I want to mention regarding the COVID status, or yet to come in a wild way, in some or other way. in children in the third wave, because all health agencies like World Health Organizations, they have specially warned the children are the next susceptible age group for the COVID-19 pandemic. So without telling the general perspective regarding the COVID situation right now globally, I cannot go or I cannot proceed to the children's perspective. So let me say, the COVID, exactly speaking, it's not only a medical issue. It's an issue of economy, it's an issue of politics, and similarly, it's an issue of medical community. But we cannot make a watertight line between these three, where this economy makes its impacts on the total humanity, where the politics are there regarding the COVID situation, and what are the real areas of the medical fraternity. This is very, very crucial, and this is a wide topic of discussion nowadays among the medical community, that what are the political impacts to the health, what are the economical impacts to the health. But one slogan everyone is putting in front of us is, don't worry, because fear is a good fuel for both this economical sector as well as the political sector, both in negative and positive way. If I am telling in the negative way, there are certain politics which are unseen behind the behind this COVID issue, economical issues which are unseen by the general population. So fear is a general trend across the globe, which is always prevailing in front of us, and that is the real issue. That fear is the real issue what brought us here inside the webinar, or otherwise this much hot discussion regarding this COVID. And I would like to invite you to a special YouTube link. Probably many of you might have seen. You just type in your YouTube link that Event 201, Event 201. In that, actually that is a discussion regarding the preparedness of a global pandemic, because near about 200 epidemics are in a year are getting reported to WHO. Nearly 200 epidemics are reporting to the WHO. In that light, several IT companies, to name with one, of course, the Bill Gates IT company, and they have conducted one discussion regarding the preparedness of global pandemic. You can see that, and if you are seeing it, there are certain questions. Obviously, it came in front of us that Melinda Gates Foundation has a lot of health concern. Johns Hopkins University, which is the reputed medical university, that has some sort of collaboration with the Melinda Gates Foundation. A lot of health investments are doing. Very recently, GM, genetically manipulated mosquitoes, they are actually, what we can say, those mosquitoes are already flew in our environment to tackle the what we can say, dengue fever. A large percentage of the medical and technological programs are sponsored by Melinda Gates Foundation in Johns Hopkins University, mind it. Number two, recently, Bill Gates funded firm released 150,000 genetically modified mosquitoes in the wild. Okay, these are certain backgrounds where we need to discuss, because we don't know how much impact to the environment and to the health will be there after the vanishing of some Aedes aegypti species from the environment. But there are certain people, they are very keen. They are very keenly observing how much impact will be there after the vanishing of the Aedes aegypti mosquito. This is the Event 201 link. This will be the face page of that YouTube. My humble request to the whole expertise or whole expert physicians in front of me, because all of them are highly exposed to COVID conditions and all of them are very well managing the COVID situations right now in Kerala. So please look into this Event 201 in the YouTube. Why this worry? You know, ischemic heart disease, the major killer of the globe, it had came around 9 million deaths per year. Stroke around 6 or in between 6 and 8 million. These are the different death rates of different diseases globally, and the COVID has reached up to 3.9 million only. But still, everywhere in the globe, everybody is in a panic situation, even though the total number of deaths from the COVID is much lesser than that of ischemic heart disease and stroke and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. This has to be kept in mind. My point is, don't be panicked with COVID-19. Take this pandemic as a common disease and treat normally. This is only an advice to the Ayurveda practitioners, not to the allopathic practitioners. Because the panic situation always comes whenever we are thinking about the virulence, the nature of the virus, not whenever we are thinking about ourselves. If we are thinking about ourselves, our human body, our day-to-day life, from the morning to night, there is no scope of any sort of fear. But whenever we are thinking about the virus and its spread and its genetic variations and its mutations, we will be totally panicked. Think that there are several discussions coming out from the different parts of the world that this disease is not a novel disease. It's only a genetic change of certain existing disease. Only RT-PCR is new. Only RT-PCR is new. New RT-PCR found out to diagnose the COVID-19 virus. You know very well, the Kari Mullis, who is the Nobel laureate who invented the RT-PCR, who commented upon his invention about the RT-PCR that I am not sure about the existence of a virus. This is what I am telling. If you go and read just the preface of a book, the preface is written by Kari Mullis. The book's name is Inventing the AIDS Virus. The book's name is Inventing the AIDS Virus. It is written by one of the virologists, but its preface is written by Kari Mullis. Everybody, please just have a look into the preface of that book. It is available in the internet. Only the number is making panic among the total population of the globe. See, the death, whenever I am asking to my patients, my children, whenever they are coming in front of me by wearing double mask, I usually ask them, usually to the children of 3 years of age, 5 years of age, I usually ask them, why you are wearing mask? They will reply that due to COVID. What is the COVID? It's a disease. Okay. What's wrong with this disease? We will die. See, a disease where only 2 to 3% of death rate is noted. Only 2 to 3% of death rate is noted. That disease is synonymous with the death. So far, a child of 3 years is concerned, even in the village of our Kerala. This is the real panic situation what we are facing. You know, at the time of death, there will be several organisms in our body. There are several organisms in the body. There will be fungus, there will be virus, there will be spirochetes, there will be a lot of bacteria. And all we know, our death will be either the stoppage of heart, whatever may be the disease. It may be a primary or secondary heart disease, or it may be kidney disease, or it may be a liver disease. Either there may be stoppage of heart, or there may be lung stoppage, or there will be an inflammation of lung just before it stops. Can you say anything in COVID other than these three mechanisms for the cause of death? No. Either the lung inflammation, that is called as pneumonia, and finally it will reach to a lung stoppage status, otherwise the heart stoppage status. These are the three mechanisms by which a human being dies. At the time of death, there will be a lot of organisms, out of which one will be virus, obviously, and one virus name is SARS-CoV-2 virus, and its diagnosis is done by RT-PCR. Okay? So far, keeping these facts in our mind, let us come to the pediatric area. There are 44 quality papers are published right now in PubMed regarding the pediatric COVID-19 diseases. And COVID-19 occurs a wide range, that is 0.39 to 12.3% of the children right now. Nobody knows what will be the percentage of the children will be affected in the third wave. But there are some statistical projection. Mind it, statistical projection have not that much value cleared in the case of COVID-19 several times. And of course, the common symptoms are fever, cough, dyspnea, and rhinopharyngitis. Majority of the children will be asymptomatic according to the knowledge so far. I'm not telling about what will happen in the future. But till that knowledge supports fever, cough, dyspnea, and rhinopharyngitis are the chief symptoms that may happen to the children. Majority of the children affected with COVID-19 will be asymptomatic. Very recently, there are certain multi-system inflammation. Mind it, inflammation. Why I am stressing upon the inflammation? Inflammation is the major cause of the disease, major cause of the death in the disease COVID-19. In that light, I will specifically say that whenever you are finishing your class, you just Google 2-3 keywords in the Google. Number 1, inflammation. Number 2, fire. Number 3, Time magazine. 3 keywords: Time magazine, inflammation, and fire. Then you will get one issue of the Time magazine, and its cover page is fire, and in the top it is written as inflammation. The total that issue is dedicated for inflammation. In that, it is very well written that even your depression is inflammatory, even your obesity is inflammatory, every disease is inflammatory at one point of time. Here in COVID-19, there is a multi-system inflammatory disease can happen in children, which is known as Kawasaki disease. That means the jwara is basically the rasa pradosha vigara. There are certain instances in which this rasa samprapti can be immediately shifted to rakta pradosha vigara by virtue of pitta dosha, fire, inflammation. The pitta dosha, fire, or inflammation. I am conspicuously, otherwise I am purposefully, I am coining the word fire, because the inflammation is the chief cause of death in COVID-19, as similarly seen in every acute and chronic disease. And presently, the COVID-19 number is making us panic. The present number is man-made. This is not the statement of Dr. Dinesh KS, but this is the statement of many scientists across the globe. many Nobel laureates, many immunologists, many antiviral vaccine company proprietors. They are telling that majority of the numbering are man-made, not the exact disease. Man-made in the sense in 4 ways. At least we, Ayurveda people should understand that, because we need to understand the real situation beyond this numbering. There are protocol-induced number, there are physician-induced number, there are vaccine-induced number, there are drug-induced numbers. I will again repeat, protocol-induced numbering. There are certain stipulations by which the protocols are made by the WHO, and it was adopted by many of the countries, but certain countries denied it. For example, Italy, and that protocol gives you certain number. For example, I will give you protocol-induced number. All that are counting under COVID. If you met with an accident, if you are suffering from a cerebral hemorrhage, if you are reached to casualty, if you are dying at that time, if the RT-PCR is positive, your death will be counted under COVID-19, not under road traffic accidents. If somebody is having a hit of any other emergencies, if their RT-PCR is positive, their number will be under COVID-19. This is the protocol-induced numbering. Second thing, all hypoxia cases need not be, or doesn't need, all the hypoxia cases don't need any hospitalization according to several protocols from different countries and from our limited experiences too. I am damn sure in your experiences, you have met with so many cases. If the partial pressure of oxygen, if the SpO2 is 86, if the patient is totally, there is no breathlessness, there will be cough, but there is no breathlessness. Still, if the patient is having 86 SpO2, according to SpO2, that patient has to be rushed to the hospital. But according to the patient's condition, the patient is not supposed to go to the hospital. This is not a casualty. If the patient is not apneic, or if the patient is not having a hyperventilation status or any breathlessness, even if the SpO2 is 86 or 89, the patient doesn't need any hospitalization, because these are met with a lot. These conditions are so common nowadays, especially in patients who are suffering from diabetes mellitus. Third thing, if the RT-PCR is positive, we call them as patients, but the patient definition is entirely different. Patient's definition is entirely different, but all positive cases are not COVID patients, but we are numbering it. Have you ever thought about the protocol, the modern protocol of the C category, D category patients? There will be one steroid, there will be one IV fluid for the injection of remdesivir, and there will be one antibiotic. Of course, there will be one antipyretic. And have you ever thought that how this steroid will be acting in a viral infection? All we know, this is to reduce the pulmonary inflammation, and it is inevitable too, according to the protocol. But steroid reduces the immunity, and it will aggravate the viral replication. IV fluids, as a general rule, it is contraindicated in pneumonia, but for the administration of remdesivir injection and many other injections, IV fluids are needed, and it is being instilled in such patients. All antibiotics in viral infection causes super infections. Super infections means the infection from our body itself. So antibiotics are also administered in the COVID patients. Vaccine induced. I am not against the vaccine. First of all, let me say that I am not against the vaccine, but I am selectively criticizing the vaccine. And this is very important so far the children are concerned. nowadays, because the school is yet to open after finishing the total vaccination program to the children, because it is inevitable. So far a health program is concerned, so far such a pandemic is concerned, a safe vaccine is advisable for a general security. But have you ever thought that there are some good number of evidences that our vaccines are prophylactic vaccine? Here comes the thrust area of Ayurveda people. That is what I am telling, that I am going to tell, because our preventive measures have to go hand in hand with vaccination. Because whatever the vaccination right now invented for the COVID-19 are prophylactic vaccine. Prophylactic vaccine means it should prevent the entry of virus. It means that before taking the shot, one should be very much sure that that body has not infected with even a single virus. But what is happening nowadays, in the midst of this total pandemic, in the midst of this total virulent virus, nobody is sure that this individual is not infected with a single virus even. Still, we are injecting a prophylactic vaccine. Once a virus is entered into the bloodstream, the entire mechanism of the immune system is in another way, which is unexpected by the prophylactic vaccine. Which is unexpected by the prophylactic vaccine. So what will be the fate of the immunological reaction once a virus entered and the immunological reaction has happened in that one prophylactic vaccine has entered in that circulation? Nobody knows. Yes, there are certain evidences in which NK cells will be stop it functioning considerably so as the infected cells will not be engulfed by the NK cells. There are evidences. So what I want to say is that even though the people are taking the prophylactic vaccine, tell them that you are not at all safe. At the same time, you should take Ayurveda medicine along with that to stabilize the immune system. Number 2, antibody-dependent enhancement. 3 days back, one Nobel laureate, he has expressed his concern regarding the antibody-dependent enhancement of virus. Once the antibody dependence type or antibody type of vaccines are administered inside the system, a powerful mutant variety of other viruses will happen. Enhancement of the viruses will happen in the human body. There is no doubt. Even though certain papers are saying against this postulation, but many of the postulations are agreeable to antibody dependent enhancement multiplication after vaccination. Then direct complication of vaccine, that I am not going to tell at this present situation, because direct complication of vaccines are reporting. All we know, the AstraZeneca has been banned in 19 countries. 19 countries, last one is Slovenia. So the direct complication of vaccine is also there. Now, in the Indian situation, have you ever heard about the number of cases which were, or the death were happened by iatrogenic complications from the hospital? Have you ever heard about it? If you are looking into the different studies in PubMed, it is a clear-cut statement that as per the Indian studies, among the Indian doctors, especially from the tertiary care centers like medical college, they are making 6.11% of medical errors. So if 100 people are died, 6.11% may be because of this medical error. How many of them counted? How many of them deleted this much number from the total number of COVID deaths? Not only that, I am here just to introduce certain preventive models which we have experienced in the Vangara block of Malappuram district in Kerala. Actually, the Vangara model is a preventive mechanism or preventive healthcare model. And this is a public health initiative. This is funded by the government of India. And I am the actually the principal investigator of that program, and we have started this program in 2018, not looking into the COVID-19, but looking into the just to improve the immunity of the children in the age group 3 to 10 years of age. 3 to 10 years of age. And we are funded with the Department of Ayush for that project. And right now, that Vangara model became much important in the scenario of the COVID. That is why I am presenting that model. The intervention method of the Vangara model of the immunity improvement. Actually, the area selected for the research, actually it is not a research, it is a program. But we have intruded certain research perspective in that. That research methodology is known as implementation research. Implementation research. It is in Vangara block of Malappuram district of Kerala. And we selected through the convenient sampling methods. That block constitutes near about 7 Grama Panchayat and 63 lower primary schools, 214 Anganwadis and 23 schools, and other 74 Anganwadis selected as clusters through lottery method. We have selected totally 3,650 children who are suffering from recurrent upper respiratory tract infection. All of you know, the recurrent upper respiratory tract infection is the first sign of immune challenge in children. Whenever a child is having less immunity, immediately that child will get upper respiratory tract infection. So simply the cough and cold. Simply the cough and cold is the first item of the first clinical feature of the immune challenge in a child. So we have selected recurrent upper respiratory tract infection. Whenever an upper respiratory tract infection occurs once in 21 days, if it is consecutively happening for 3 times, then it is called as recurrent upper respiratory tract infection. What we did, we selected 3650 children with a clinically diagnosed recurrent upper respiratory tract infection. They are supposed to receive the Ayurveda medicine as well as lifestyle guidelines awareness classes. The parents of those children with a clinically diagnosed RURTA receiving, the parents will be taught with, through different methodology, they will be taught with the lifestyle guidelines, and they will be subjected to certain workshops of lifestyle guidelines of Ayurveda. How to prepare certain dishes, how to prepare, how to use the chilies, how to use the tamarind, and several other items. Those are the workshops. How to prepare the Suvarna Prasha. These are the syllabus of workshop. And teachers and Anganwadi workers of those selected institutions, they will be receiving the lifestyle guidelines seminars on immunity management. The parents of children of those total selected institutions receiving the immunity management, those will be 5,000. So total 9,400 beneficiaries were targeted. And this conceptual framework, why we have selected these parents, Anganwadi teachers, ICDS program managers, everyone, why? Because this is a conceptual framework of public health program, which is known as supersetting approach of health. Supersetting approach is the approach which is propounded by World Health Organization, and simply it means that there is a program in supersetting approach which is known as Ottawa Charter. In the Ottawa Charter, it simply means that if you are going to give from RT-PCR positive COVID-19, whatever it may be, before giving this medicine, hello, am I audible? Am I audible? Hello?
Okay.
Yes. Before giving this medicine, you please incorporate all members from different paraphernalia of that area. For example, the ward member or the medical officer or the politician, local governance, whoever it may be, whoever be the person who is connected to that particular patient has to be informed, and they should be educated properly what you are going to do. And you should assess the knowledge level of each and every person. So while we are giving this medicine to a child in a school, we are educating the ICDS, we are educating the teachers, we are educating the education department, the officials, we are educating the Ayush members, we are educating the public. Everyone will be educated regarding this program, what you are going to do. How much knowledge has transferred, that has to be assessed. That is Ottawa Charter. In the supersetting approach model, we have applied this medication, but unfortunately, we could select only some limited members of the children, because while we have planned everyone, and when we started this program, the first lockdown came in India. So we have conducted the medical camps, we have started the seminars, and we have formulated different art forms like puppetry, cartoon, dance to educate the children regarding the lifestyle guidelines. And one Arogya Ganam, one health song we have prepared with sufficient tuning to be chanted in the assembly, and the health club, and the parents workshops, teachers workshops, seminars. Officials of each department will be given several other programs. And these are the different style of administration of the total program, like public involvement are there, ISM department, ICDS department, general education department, Gram Panchayat, Block Panchayat. These are the different style of administration of the total program what we have conducted. And these are the 10 Ahara Niyamas which we are propagating. Food and resources, dietary roles, daily regimens, dinacharyas, lifestyle changes, mental health and thought process, spiritual and moral hygiene, systematic personalized exercises, directions regarding natural urges, our Vegadharanas, and maintaining healthy sense organs, Indriya Samrakshana, and protection of nature and environment, like our Abharajita Churna. Whatever it may be, all these programs will be implemented simultaneously through different programs, not only giving the medications. And these are the team members of our program under the guidance of our principal, Dr. C.V. Jaydevan sir, and our executive director. These are our team members. And this is our logo. Whenever we are going to the school, this is the logo. These small elephants, which we called him as Gajju. And Gajju was the icon of our program. Whenever we are reaching to the school, all the children will be coming like this, because our total vehicle will be decorated. Vehicle was decorated like this with the picture of Gajju and our Sishiroga Vibhaga, Vaidratnam PS Ayurveda College, Kottakkal. And we sensitized the teachers initially, and after that, teachers were diagnosed with the RURT initially. Later on, we super checked. We, the medical team, super checked the RURT, whether it is right or not. And after that, we started the medical camp like this. Even in the COVID period also, during the lockdown also, with the COVID protocol, we gave the medicines and we conducted this medical camp. And these are the different puppetry show to educate the children regarding our Ahara Niyamas and Dinacharyas and everything. These are the different calendars what we have supplied to the what we have to be supplied. Actually, we couldn't supply all these things because this is the calendar. The 12 types of Ahara Niyamas we put in calendar as 12 months. So 1 month they will look into this. These are the different images of the calendar so that the child will look into this. And these are the different cartoon characters. They are telling about the Vegadharana and the importance of Ayurveda. And assessments what we did in the medical camp. This is the take-home message that has to be taken from the class while doing with the children's cases. All the recurrent upper respiratory tract infection children are prone to get infected with COVID-19 too. So before that, mind it, what is RURTA? one respiratory tract infection once in 21 days continuously for 3 times, consecutively for 3 times or more, which is called as RURT. 21 ദിവസം കൂടുമ്പോൾ ജലദോഷപ്പനിയും കഫക്കെട്ടും വരുന്നതായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു കുട്ടി, ഒരു തവണയെങ്കിലും ആന്റിബയോട്ടിക് ഒരു മാസത്തിൽ കഴിക്കേണ്ടി വരുന്ന കുട്ടി, ആ കുട്ടിക്കാണ് കോവിഡ് കിട്ടാനുള്ള ചാൻസ്. And that is the child who is more susceptible to get this COVID-19 infection. And while treating them, or as a precautionary measure, you just divide them into 3 according to Ayurveda. Other than common RURTA in COVID cases, children here in Kerala, because we have seen certain cases in Kerala who are suffering from the COVID and who are exposed to the primary contacts. No difference other than common RURTA. Common ജലദോഷ പനിയിൽ നിന്ന് വിട്ട് വേറെ ഒന്നും തന്നെ ഈ കുട്ടികളിൽ കണ്ടിട്ടില്ല ഇതേവരെ. 3 types of presentation will be there. ജ്വരപ്രധാനം, പ്രതിശ്യായ ശ്വാസകാസ പ്രധാനം, and ക്ഷയപ്രധാനം, recurrent respiratory tract infection. ജ്വരപ്രധാനം simply means start with the fever, respiratory tract infection will come, and after that it will be subsided, but there will be persisting fever. There will be persisting feverishness. Mandajwaram will be present afterwards. That is called as Jwarapradhanam RURTA. In Pratishyaya Shwasakasa Pradhanam RURTA, there will be either rhinitis, cough, or any nasal discharges will be present at the first time, and after that there will be full-blown infection, and after finishing the infection, the Pratishyaya Shwasakasa will be persisting afterwards. In Chaya Pradhanam, already the child will be malnourished, already the child will be in Chaya Avastha, reduced body mass index, always that will be expressed, totally malnourished child who is suffering from RURTA. These are the 3 types of presentation that is presented with RURTA. These are the children group who are susceptible for the COVID-19 yet to be happen in the 3rd wave in our country. Common drug for all group will be given with Crimicnavadi for 21 days, not for the 7 days as usual, because this is a protocol which is on the experience-based protocol. At least 21 days of Crimicnavadi has to be given to break the life cycle of common helminthic infestations in children. So 21 days of Crimicnavadi will be given to all children, because all we know, this most of the crimis are hatching their eggs in the respiratory tract, which are susceptible for the RURTA. And everybody will be given with either Ashtachurnam or Rajanyati Churnam for the Deepanapajana. And after that, the protocol of the recurrent upper respiratory tract infection will be 6 months time, 3 months Vyadhi Prataniga, Hetu Prataniga Chikitsa, and 3 months Rasayana Chikitsa. 3 months Vyadhi Prataniga, Hetu Prataniga Chikitsa, and 3 months for Rasayana Chikitsa. In Pratishyaya Shwasakasa Pradhanam, what we did here in children, the combination of simple Dasamulagadatrayam and Kanagasavam. This will be a good cocktail so that it will be palatable, and you can add any of the syrup like Zeptilin or any cough syrup or anything like that along with that, so that the total cocktail will be so palatable to be taken by the children. And this will be given for the 3 months. And in Jwarapradhanam, instead of Dasamulagadatrayam, Indugandam Kwadam, Kanagasavam plus Amrutarishtam, this combination will be given for 3 months. And in Chayapradhana, the Rajeshma combination like Elaganadi and Kanagasavam will be given for the 3 months. 3 months medication will be same to this. And after that, we will give the Rasayana like Agastya Rasayana and Hariraganda for the next 3 months for the Pratishyaya Shwasakasa Pradhana treatment. And in case of Jwarapradhana case, we will give Dadimatigrada or Indugandagrada or Chanaprasam Kushmand Rasayana for next 3 months as the case according to the Agni status of that child. And in Chayapradhana RURTA, we will give the Kushmand Rasayana or Chanaprasam Rasayana. So this is the 6 months course what we are giving to the all RURTA children. But my humble request, so far the COVID-19 case is concerned, everybody should be given the Patya, because in RURTI, we could see that 33% of the children, 33% of the children are getting relieved from RURTI only by the administration of Patya. Only by the administration of Patya. So, most of the problems of RURTI are Kabhavadiga in nature. So, the Kabaja type of aharas like curd, chocolate, ice cream, toffee, milk has to be avoided. The Vadiga type like chips, lays, Cheetos, bakeries, fried items, wafers, all the crispy items, root items has to be avoided. So these are the Patya what we usually prescribing. And this was the result among the 385 children who subjected this 6 months course of the medication. Like majority of the children get rid of this RURTI from different symptoms. See, the Mukhosham 100%, Nasasravan 99.22%. See, the Swasobharadam 100%, Ayurji 100%. These are the different. Why I am expressing this in terms of percentage? Because for the easy understanding, all other complicated statistics are yet to be published soon. And this is the general trend of RURTI curve. By the end of the fourth follow-up, only 3 cases were left from the 175. So far, the COVID exposure is concerned, there are certain specific instruction has to be kept in mind. 14% of the cases, 14% of the cases among these 385 were exposed to primary, but none of them had clinically positive symptoms of the COVID. And whoever tested, none of them was positive in RT-PCR. This is the reason why, because we want to propagate this, and we have already communicated this result to the government of India. Today, Ayurveda advisor, Ayush advisor will discuss this result in Delhi. And only problem is that this is only small sample size, that is 385. But still, our there is another paper which is yet to be published within 1 month in the JAME. In elderly persons, we have given this protocol for 65 elderly persons above 60 years of aged COVID patients from 9 countries through online consultation, and we are going to present this data among the scientific journal within 1 month. That will be published. The review is going on. If it is not rejected, that will be published. And special reference to COVID, what I want to say, in children, not only in children, adult also, mind there are 3 stages. I am not telling about the 4 stages or 5 stages of the modern medicine. According to Ayurveda, the total COVID cases has to be considered into 3 stages. Number 1, initial Kapha stage. Number 2, the active Pitta stage. Number 3, the post-COVID Kabaja or Paithika stage. I will repeat again. Initial Kapha stage, but mind it, the COVID disease is majority of the symptoms are Kapha Paithika, but the Kapha will be expressed initially. The Kapha stage, the second, the Pitta stage, very important stage where the ICU is needed, where the ventilation is needed, where Mahagatam, Mahavegam, Agnivat, Sikragari is needed, and all these are the active Ashugaritam of Pitta stage. And the third convalescent period is post-COVID, either Kabaja presentation or Paithika presentation will be happen. The most problem what we are going to do is, in the Kapha stage, if we are doing Ushna Tishna treatment, immediately that will be reached to the active Pitta stage. There are chances. Otherwise, if we are sufficiently tackling this Kapha Paithika stage with the Tikta Rasa Pradhana Dravyas, it will not progress to this Pitta stage. This is my humble request and my limited experience, what I am telling. My point is, initial kapha stage has to be managed thoroughly, judiciously by Ayurveda people, so that we can prevent those paging to the Pitta stage later on. And the convalescence Pitta will be very well reduced in such a case. In initial stage, in Kapha stage, all we know, because you have very well seen the cases in CFLTC. I have not attended the CFLTC duty. You all know very well the feverishness fever. Initially it will come, later on it will turn to frank fever. Loss of appetite will be there. Myalgia, joint pain will be there. Dry cough will be there. Anosmia, the classical feature of anosmia, sore throat, sometimes diarrhea. Have you ever looked into the Gandha Jnanam? The Gandha Jnanam, which is very well mentioned in the Abhinyasa Jwara, Sannivadam Abhinyasam, Hataujasam, the Hataujasam stage and the Visha stages and the Abhinyasa Jwaram, these are the different areas where all this Jwara spectrum is associated with anosmia in our classical textbook. So it is the dosha which are pointing towards the ojas. All the doshas, especially the pitta, trayo dosha balasyokta vyavat visramsa traya visramsa, the ojo visramsa. You just have a look into the ojo visramsa lakshana. If you are not able to see even the 50% of ojo visramsa lakshana in the active pitta stage, the total, the Ayurveda theory can be deleted from our textbook. The thing is that if you are keenly observing, the pitta stage of the disease is the clear-cut evidence of the ojo visramsa lakshanas, the pitta dosha actively which is facing towards the ojas, which is causing severe glanny, even the Balabramsa, and even the Amalakshanas like Gaurava, Anilamutata, and everything, Srodhoroda, Balabramsam, and everything. And all other Balabramsa Lakshanas are happening in the second stage due to the Pitta active involvement. So my point is, in the initial stage, instead of Dasamula Gadutraya, all we know, Dasamula Gadutraya will relieve the loss of appetite. Dasamula Gadutraya will relieve our feverishness. Dasamula Gadutraya will relieve our dry cough. But my point is, along with that relief, if we want to relieve the aggravation of the Pitta dosha, later on the Gani, Balabramsa, and the Vada Shobha, and all other Balabramsa Lakshanas want to be relieved, try to give Tiktarasa Pradhana Dravyas like Shadanga, Pajanamurda, or the Kalikagaha Padolas Patran Kadu Rohini, or otherwise the Pajana Guduchadi Kwada, or the Panchatiktakan Kwada, all these are the different Kwadas which are ideally suitable in the initial stage, later to the active stage in the fever shoot-up, breathlessness, DVT, disseminated intravascular coagulopathy, loss of sensorium, severe tiredness, and imbalances. You might have seen a lot of cases who are very well imbalanced. All these are the serious. And you know, the myalgia and the joint pain, all we know the vata is involved, but if you look into the kapha which is situated in the snayu, snavagaha sandhishulatvam, snavagaha sandhishulatvam. If the kapha is situated in the snayu, the motor issues, the neurological issues, everything is produced from the snayu, the result and the clinical feature will be sandhishulatvam. And when the pitta actives in children, that may produce the fever, rashes, Kawasaki diseases, multi-system inflammatory conditions. In adults, all we know, even though the steroids are causing a lot of DVT, even though Remdesivir in the presence of steroids are causing a lot of DVT, but the Pitta dosha, which is a part of this COVID-19, that is more than sufficient to produce Gradita Rectapitta. Gradita Rectapitta means it is granular, small thrombotic events followed by bleeding episodes. Disseminated intravascular coagulopathy, which is the chief cause of death in case of COVID-19. And this is the reason why, because Italian doctors denied WHO protocol to give that steroid antibiotic combination to produce this DVT. But unfortunately, the largest country or the largest populated country, the second country or India, the China didn't do that, but the India still following the same protocol of administration of steroids, antibiotics, remdesivir, and right now remdesivir is removed from the WHO protocol. This pitta stage has to be managed by pittahara dravyas like Pajanamrita, Guluchadi, Shadanga, Nishunti, Shadanga, Drakshadi in case of severe tiredness and fatigue. Severe tiredness and fatigue. I could see one paper which is showing, but that is in small sample size, so I cannot make it as an example, but still keep it in mind. I cannot make it as an example, again I am telling, but still keep it in mind. In one paper, it was shown from the China that DVT and increased fatigue, DVT, the Pitta dosha, and the increased fatigue and loss of sensorium has some sort of Pearson correlation. Some sort of correlation. It doesn't mean that it is causative. It doesn't mean that it is causative, but it is relative. DVT, loss of sensorium, and increased fatigue, the Ojo Abhimukha Pitta Lakshanas are relatives. The third stage, you might have seen a lot of cases right now. The third stages are presenting either as Pitta dosha or as Kapha dosha, either as breathlessness or as fatigue, either as respiratory problem or as myalgia, either as the severe fatigue and anosmia still persisting. And these are the different Kabaja or Paitiga problems which are presented. But the Pitta Tikshnata will not be there in the third stage. The Drava portion of the Pitta, Pittam, Sasneha, Tishna, Ushna, Legu, Visra, Sara, Drava, of this Sara, Drava and Ushna, not Tishna, Sara, Drava and Ushna, which are still persisting. In such cases also, please continue. Tikta Shoshana Dravyas like Pajanamrita and Tikta Shoshana Dravyas like Shadanga. And those Tikta Sapradana Dravyas has to be followed again. Along with that, Rasayana Chilsa has to be continued like Agastya Rasayana or this Kushmanda Rasayana or this Chavaraprasya Rasayana, Drakshadi Kwada. All these are the different. And my combination in such cases are Agastya Rasayana, Haridraganda, Rajini Churna. Agastya Rasayana, Haridraganda, Rajini, mix it with honey very well, make it a good pastry and give it in the bread or whatever it may be. Okay. This is the result which we have. We are yet to publish this result. The reason why, because I have plotted this graph in front of you. This is regarding 64 elderly patients who took only Ayurveda treatment among 9 countries who are suffering from mild to moderate cases of COVID-19. The hallmark point is that this is a statistical term, that is survival function. That means how much time a symptom persisted in a patient. That is very important. If we are doing the genuine Ayurveda treatment, the survival function of the fever will be around 2 days. It may be less than 1 day in some cases. What I want to say, not big challenges, not big, what we can say, appeals, but the survival function. how much time the patient will be suffering from each and every symptom. That will be quite reduced if we are following Ayurveda management in the COVID condition. And all we know, the black fungus right now came with a new phase. Today, our chief minister has quoted that medical finding that there is no increment. There is no increase of number of cases of black fungus in India. But still, again, what I'm telling, we are getting panic by media and by different publications and by different medical spokespersons that black fungus, black fungus, black fungus. Of course, it is also the blame of COVID-19 right now. But unfortunately, that is not due to COVID-19, but that is due to increased application of steroids, thereby increased blood glucose level, and that blood glucose level has reduced the immunity, thereby our Kardama Visarpa, that is black fungus, mucormycosis. Kardama, typical features of Kardama Visarpa, that is happening due to Andar Visarpa Lachana. Marmobagada Samrodad, Ayananam Bigashpanal, Trishnadi Yoga Visarpad, Andaryad Asuchakni Belakshayat, Andaryad Asuchakni Belakshayat. So immediate death can happen if it is affected in the lung, brain, and the GI tract. The Kardama Visarpa is fatal, according to our reference also. This is one video I will show you today. I got this video from one of my students who is attending the COVID duty in other states, and see this video. This guy is having this black fungus and he is suffering from the steroid-induced 500 blood sugar, and after that this fungus has happened in the eye, and right now, see, this guy got removed his eyes. This is the hole which can be seen. And you see the brain area is visible from this part of the orbit. And this is the situation how the media propagates the fear regarding the black fungus. And what is the role of this fear? Nobody knows, and somebody knows. Somebody knows that, but we don't know what is the role of this fear. But there are several people who know very well what is the role of fear in such a global situation. What my point is, let me conclude. Our limited experience from this project is that among 385 children, none of them had cough and cold after Ayurveda intervention. Through majority of the children were exposed to COVID-19 primary contacts. Avoid chocolates, avoid toffees, avoid bakeries, curd, fried items, and ice creams. Don't try new hair oils. Only in Kerala. എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു നീർപ്പിടുത്തുള്ള തലയിൽ എണ്ണ തേച്ചില്ലാന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കാരണന്മാർക്ക് ഉറക്കം വരില്ല, കുട്ടികൾക്ക് ഒരു കുഴപ്പമില്ല, കാരണന്മാർക്ക് ഉറക്കം വരില്ല. അവരിരുന്നിട്ട് തലമുടി കറുപ്പിക്കാനും തലമുടി വളർത്താനും ഇങ്ങനെ തേച്ചോണ്ടിരിക്കും. കഞ്ഞുണ്ടി, മൈലാഞ്ചി, പറമ്പിൽ കിട്ടിയ സാധനങ്ങൾ മുഴുവൻ എടുത്ത് തല തേക്കാൻ തുടങ്ങും. Please don't try new hair oils in children. If possible, don't do it at all, because it is a Kapabaitika condition. If it is a Kapabaitika condition, don't try, especially now the Pravit and the Varsha Ritu is coming. Apply Rasnadi Churnan Rucha Karma immediately after Snigdhata of our bath. A special Ayurveda powder, especially those who are attending from outside India and outside Kerala, what I am telling, the Rasnadi Churna is quite familiar among the people of Kerala. Apply Rasnadi Churna immediately after taking bath. And consult the nearest Ayurveda doctor. To the general public, what I am telling, consult the nearest Ayurveda doctor to get this Pradishaya Swasakasa Pradhana, Chaya Pradhana, Jara Pradhana protocol to these children. Simply take Rajanyadi Churna as a culture, as a habit, at least 2 grams in the evening. At least 2 grams in the evening. Make a habit of drinking ginger, boiled water, or tulsi leaves boiled water. Don't give food frequently. Adhyasanam, Grahani Dushanam, Amavardhanam. So don't give food frequently unless the child is hungry. If the child is not at all hungry, make the child hungry. Smear the nostrils with the gingerly oil. One study from Maharashtra, it is clearly shown that it is substitute of nausea and it prevents RURTI. It prevents nasal tract infections, upper respiratory tract infections. So smear the nostrils. We are keeping one dropper which is filled with the gingerly oil in our bathroom. And just take one drop each in each nostril and put it on the nostril. Simply. Enough, more than sufficient. Daily. Smear the nostril with the gingerly oil daily before taking bath. And this is for the adults. These instructions are for adults. Take 5 ml of fresh ginger juice. So many questions are coming from out of this ginger juice. Whether it will create germ, whether it will ulcerate, whether it will ulcerate the GI tract. Please mind it. If it is 1 spoon, if it is mixed with the jaggery especially, it won't create any sort of pitta doshas. It is Madura in Vibhaga. Must do half an hour exercise daily in the morning. Must do. There are 658 skeletal muscles which are provided to the human being only for the movement. If you are not moving it, definitely you will be suffering from disease. Take minimum of 2 liters of water. Be hydrated. Be ojo vriddhi. Keep ojo vriddhi in your body. Take minimum of 2 liters of water. Water is the Jeevanam. Minimum 6 hours of sleep. Minimum. It can be 7 hours, but it should not be more than 8 hours. Minimum 6 hours of sleep is compulsory. Be a vegetarian maximum, especially in Indian context. Because all we know, our non-vegetarian food are so spicy, so that if the English people are taking that spicy chicken chili, if they are using the toilet paper, that will be burned. That will be burned. That is the reason why, because we are using water for washing after toilet. That much spicy food, that much pitta vardhaka food, ojo reducing food, non-vegetarian food in our case. That is the reason why, because pitta vardhaka aharas has to be avoided in COVID susceptible patients or population. That is the reason why, because I always advise 6 items has to be avoided in Kerala situations. Number 1, pickle. Number 2, curd, sambar, rasam, and these non-veg foods. I know the yusham, the rasam, kalkat, dravabalam, sunti pippali, chardha, garchigam, vari prasthana vibajel, sadravo yusha uchade rasam. Rasam is good Deepanapachana. I do agree. But without a chili, without a tamarind, without amla rasa, can you prepare this rasa? This is causing pitta vriddhi. We are yet to face a severe pitta vriddhi in the ICU. Then our Panikurka coleus barbatus, turmeric powder, cumin seed, these are the general advices what we are giving to the general public. Avoid soft drinks, cool drinks, hair oils. Be exposed to sunlight, because plenty of evidences are there between the respiratory tract infection and vitamin D deficiency. Be exposed to sunlight before 10 o'clock. In Indian condition, before 10 o'clock. So many studies are confirmed. Vitamin D synthesis is happening before 10 o'clock in India. Let me conclude. Number of COVID diseases and health is totally unscientific nowadays. General public don't know what is the scope of Ayurveda. That if we mind it. General public don't know what is the scope of Ayurveda. Because modern hospitals are full of patients. Traffic in Ayurveda doctors, traffic among the Ayurveda practitioners, traffic among the Ayurveda colleges, Ayurveda clinics, much lesser than the bakeries. Much lesser than the bakeries in the lockdown period. So please, you are so much experienced. You, the NAM medical officers, Ayush medical officers, and they are the real COVID warriors. They have so much experience regarding the COVID. Please write in Arogya Masika, common health journals. experience with the patients and expose the patient's experience like videos or patient sayings in the common platform, in the newspapers, so that the people should get to know that what is the real scope of Ayurveda. And you know, this is the picture of Andhra Pradesh. In COVID-19 time, this is the picture of Andhra Pradesh. They are in a queue to get Ayurveda medicines. They are in a queue to get the Ayurveda medicine. Can you see any queue in any of the Ayurveda hospitals in Kerala? Ayurveda Cradle is the Kerala. None of the Ayurveda hospitals queue up with this sort of patients to get Ayurveda medicines. So the people don't know what is the exact role of Ayurveda. So this is my humble request. By this I am winding up. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello. ഡൗട്ട്സ് കുറെ ചാറ്റ് ബോക്സിൽ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. അതല്ലാതെ വളരെ കുറഞ്ഞ വാക്കുകളിൽ ഒന്ന് ക്ലാരിഫൈ ചെയ്യേ. ഓക്കെ, അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ചോദിച്ചോളൂ.
I will answer certain queries from the chat box. So Tiktapajana is important than Kadupajana. 100% true. Still, you just assess the patient, whether the patient is Sri. There is a main principle, cardinal principle in Ayurveda that samsrishte kapapittabhyam pittamadav vinirjayet. In kapavaitika condition, you initially address the pitta without having any turbulence to the kapha dosha. Now, what is other questions? Indugandha not good as first choice of medicine. I will not say as a general rule. Indugandha not good as a first medicine. I will not say as a general rule. You just assess the presence of pitta dosha in that patient. If the pitta dosha is hidden, the better choices are Shadanga rather than Indugandha. The use of Rasnadi Churna for Pratishaya like a condition is for children up to what age? Not only for the children, for everybody. Please use yourself too. What you say is right, but in Karnataka, we are not allowed to claim or advertise that we treat COVID. Probably, but it is not advertisement. It is not an advertisement. Simply, you can write a lot of your experiences. Wherever may be the state in India, because we are allowed to share our experiences, especially with type A patients. Rajanadi Churnam, how long we have to give children? So long as the child kick you out, you can give it. Thank you so much for the wonderful question. Thank you. Yes, almost all the questions.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone want to discuss it directly, please?
Okay.
Three participants raised the hands. Please unmute and say, Dr. Priya TP, Vaidya Shweta. Please unmute and Dr. Srijit, Dr. Nisha Thangapan, Simi P. Danweth. Please unmute and please admin, let them enable to unmute themselves. Nothing is audible. Simi is not audible. Admin, whoever may be the admin, please have an option to unmute themselves. Many people are raising hands, but they don't. They are totally incapacitated to unmute themselves. Sajibai.
Saji.
Admin, please.
Hosts. Account.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yes. Unmute yourself, please.
Total unmuting. Total unmuting.
Agni Mandya. Agni Mandya. So there is Agni Mandya in the cases, what we are seeing, right? So as you have told that we should give Agastya Rasayan, Kushmand Rasayan. So is it justified if in the case of Agni Mandya, can we give them Rasayana?
The general rule of Rasayana that you are not supposed to give any sort of that sort of gurus with the dravyas in Agni Mandya. Initially, you should ensure Agni. Only after that you are supposed to give these Rasayanas. That is in the later stage only.
Okay.
Then
next one.
Sir, Priya,
Yes.
Dr. Priya. Hello,
Priya.
sir.
Dr. Priya, tell me.
Sir, my doubt is any immunity power for children below 3 against COVID-19? Many pediatricians told that there is no need to wear mask. Many are not covering their kids with mask or anything. And they, once I asked about that, they told that pediatrician told that there is no need to protect them with such mask and all. I don't know.
According to the modern principle of immunology, children are highly immune against certain specific diseases. According to Ayurveda terminology, they are with Hina Bala.
Yes.
They are with Hina Bala. So far concerned with certain microbes, they are highly immune. They are highly immune. So far concerned with this respiratory virus, they are immune. But it doesn't mean that they are with the proper Bella. So even though whether they are mask, where mask is using or not, that's not a big issue at all. Because our Bella concept is not at all related to mask, but it is related to our food and other activities. So if you are looking into the virus, mask is not needed. If you are looking into the body, medicine is needed.
Sir, thank you. Sir, one more doubt. If there is
Yes, Nisha.
സർ രണ്ട് ഡൗട്ട്സ് ആണ് ഉള്ളത്. ഒന്ന് സാറ് വേങ്ങര മോഡല് വിശദമാക്കി. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഒരു കോവിഡിന്റെ പശ്ചാത്തലത്തിൽ പ്രായോഗികമായി ഒരു പഞ്ചായത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് നടപ്പിലാക്കാൻ കഴിയുന്ന ഒരു ഷോർട്ട് പ്രോട്ടോകോള് സാറിന്റെ അഭിപ്രായത്തിൽ എന്താണ് എന്നുള്ളത്?
മെഡിസിൻ മാത്രം
സാർ പറഞ്ഞത്
അതായത്
ക്രിമിഗ്നവടി, വ്യാധി പ്രത്യനീകം, രസായനം, അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ശരിക്കൊരു അപ്പോ ഇതൊരു പ്രാക്ടിക്കലി നമുക്കൊരു പഞ്ചായത്തിൽ ഒരു ലിമിറ്റഡ് ടൈമില് ഒരു കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി അടിസ്ഥാനത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ
പറ്റുന്നതാണ്. കുറ്റ്യാടി പഞ്ചായത്തില് 5 വർഷങ്ങൾക്ക് മുമ്പ് ഞങ്ങൾ ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാം നടപ്പിലാക്കിയതാ. കോഴിക്കോട് ജില്ലയിലെ കുറ്റ്യാടി പഞ്ചായത്തില് ഞങ്ങൾ ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാം നടപ്പിലാക്കിയതാ. അപ്പൊ അതുകൊണ്ട് ചെയ്യേണ്ട കാര്യം ഇത്രയൊക്കെ ഉള്ളൂ. വാർഡ് മെമ്പേഴ്സ് വഴി ഇടയ്ക്കിടയ്ക്ക് ജലദോഷം വരുന്ന കുട്ടികളെ മുഴുവൻ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യാം. ഇപ്പൊ ഞങ്ങൾ കുടുംബശ്രീ വഴിയാണ് ഇപ്പൊ ചെയ്യാൻ പോണത്. ഈ വേങ്ങരയില് വാർഡ് മെമ്പേഴ്സ് വഴി ഓരോ വീട്ടിലും ഇടയ്ക്കിടയ്ക്ക് ജലദോഷം വരുന്ന കുട്ടികളോട് മുഴുവൻ ആയുർവേദ ഹോസ്പിറ്റൽ വരാൻ പറയാ. അവർക്ക് ഈ മരുന്ന് കൊടുക്കുക. 3 മാസത്തേക്ക് മരുന്ന് കഴിക്കണം എന്ന് പറയാ. വേറെ ഒന്നും വേണ്ട.
കോവിഡിന്റെ ഒരു പശ്ചാത്തലത്തിൽ വരുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും ഇത്രയൊരു ലോങ് പീരീഡ് നമുക്ക്, അതുപോലെ ഈ കുറെ റെസ്ട്രിക്ഷൻസ് വരുമ്പോ പ്രായോഗികമായിട്ട് പഞ്ചായത്ത് തലത്തിൽ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ട് വരില്ലേ?
പറ്റും. We are doing it. ലോക്ക്ഡൌൺ പീരീഡ് വരെ ഞങ്ങൾ മരുന്ന് കൊടുത്തു. കുടുംബശ്രീക്കാരും വാർഡ് മെമ്പർമാരും കൃത്യമായി സഹകരിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഞങ്ങള് ഈ 385 കുട്ടികൾക്കും കൊടുത്തത് അതില് ആദ്യത്തെ ഒരു 75 കുട്ടികൾ വെച്ച് ബാക്കിയുള്ളവർക്ക് മുഴുവൻ നമ്മുടെ ആദ്യത്തെ ലോക്ക്ഡൌൺ പീരീഡിലാണ് കൊടുത്തത്. പറ്റും.
സെക്കൻഡ് വേവില് ഇതെല്ലാം കൂടുതലല്ലേ സർ? കാരണം ഡെയിലി തന്നെ ഒരു പഞ്ചായത്തിൽ 80 കേസസ് ഒക്കെ, വളരെ പോപ്പുലേഷൻ 7000 ഒക്കെ വരുമ്പോ 80 ഉള്ള പഞ്ചായത്തിൽ പോലും 80 പെർ ഡേ ഒക്കെ വരുന്ന ഒരു സ്ഥലങ്ങളില് നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെ പ്രായോഗികമായിട്ട് ഇന്റർവ്യൂ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും?
ഡോക്ടർ, ഞാൻ വേണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കുടുംബശ്രീ മിഷന്റെ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് കോർഡിനേറ്റേഴ്സ് ആയിട്ട് ഞാനൊന്ന് ഒരു ടോക്ക് ഞാൻ ഡോക്ടർക്ക് കണക്ട് ചെയ്ത് തരാം. മലപ്പുറം ജില്ലയുടെ കോർഡിനേറ്ററാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ അതിനുവേണ്ടി സഹായിക്കുന്നത്. ഇത് നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം ഈ പറയുന്ന വാർഡ് മെമ്പേഴ്സ് വഴി ഈ കുട്ടികളെ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്ത് അവരെ നമ്മുടെ അടുത്തേക്ക് എത്തിക്കുക എന്നുള്ള പണി മാത്രമാണ് നമുക്ക് ഇതിന് ഹെക്റ്റിക് ആയിട്ടുള്ളതുള്ളൂ. മരുന്ന് എത്തിക്കല് സുഖമായിട്ട് അവർ ചെയ്തോളൂ.
ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു.
ശിവദാസ് മേനോൻ. ശിവദാസ് ജി
കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ?
കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട്, പറ.
നമ്മുടെ അവിടെ ഒരു 2 കുട്ടികള് അവർ ചിക്കൻ പോക്സ് ജസ്റ്റ് കുളിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞേ ഉള്ളൂ എന്നാണ്. ചിക്കൻ പോക്സ് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് കുളിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞതേ ഉള്ളൂ. അപ്പൊ അവര് ഈ കോവിഡ് അവരുടെ വീട്ടിൽ പോസിറ്റീവ് കേസസ് ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ അവര് പ്രതിരോധ മരുന്നുകൾ എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ ചോദിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ സാധാരണ കൊടുക്കുന്ന ഒരു ഇതിലാണോ അതെന്തെങ്കിലും സ്പെസിഫിക് ആയിട്ട് നമുക്ക് സജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാനുണ്ടാവുമോ?
നമ്മള്
ചിക്കൻ പോക്സ്
ശ്രദ്ധിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യം ഇത്രയ്ക്കേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഓൾറെഡി പിത്തം ത്വചിസ്ഥിതം കുര്യാത് വിസ്ഫോടനം അസൂചിത വന്ന കുട്ടിയാണ്. പിത്തം ത്വക്കിലിരുന്ന ലക്ഷണമുള്ള കുട്ടിയാണ്. നിർബന്ധമായും അവർക്ക് ചിക്കൻ പോക്സിനുള്ള മരുന്നുകൾ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, ആ മരുന്നുകള്, ബട്ട് ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് ബി ടു സീത, ഷടങ്കം പോലെയുള്ള സുദർശനം പോലെയുള്ള മരുന്നുകൾ കൊടുക്കുക. സുദർശനം ടാബ്ലറ്റ്, അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഷടങ്കം. അലോങ് വിത്ത് ദാറ്റ് പ്രത്യേകം ശ്രദ്ധിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യം, ചിക്കൻ പോക്സ് വന്നവർക്കും കോവിഡ് വന്നവർക്കും കോട്ടത്തിൽ പിത്തം ഇരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. എല്ലാവരിലും കാണുന്ന അന്തർദാഹം, അതുമാതിരി തന്നെ ഭയങ്കര ടയർഡ്നെസ്സിനൊക്കെ ഒരു പ്രധാന കാരണം കോഷ്ടത്തിലെ പിത്തമാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് എല്ലാവർക്കും ശമന ഡോസില് അഭിപത്തി കൊടുക്കുക. ശമന ഡോസില് കുട്ടികൾ കൊടുക്കാറ് 2 100 വീതം 3 നേരമാണ്. വലിയവർക്കൊക്കെ ½ ടീസ്പൂൺ TID ആണ് ഞാൻ കൊടുക്കുന്നത്. ശമന ഡോസില് ഒരല്പം അഭിപത്തി അവർക്ക് കൊടുത്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക. That itself is more than sufficient.
Okay. ശരി.
Thank you. Or anyone else?
നമുക്ക്
Yes.
സജി, നമുക്ക് വൈൻഡപ്പ് ചെയ്യാം.
Yes. Okay.
ഓക്കെ, എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. നമ്മള് കോവിഡിന്റെ ആദ്യഘട്ടം മുതൽ പ്രോട്ടോകോൾ ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ മുമ്പിലുണ്ടായിരുന്ന ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ചലഞ്ച് കുട്ടികളെ എങ്ങനെ മാനേജ് ചെയ്യാം എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. നമ്മളൊരു എക്സ്ക്ലൂഷൻ ക്രൈറ്റീരിയയിൽ നിർത്തേണ്ട ഒരു അറിവിന്റെ പരിമിതികൾ നിന്നുകൊണ്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ അന്ന് തുടങ്ങിയത് തന്നെ. ഇപ്പോഴും പ്രോട്ടോകോളിൽ ഒരു പക്ഷേ അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ തന്നെയാണെങ്കിലും ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ കുട്ടികളെയും കൂടെ ഏറ്റെടുക്കേണ്ട ഒരു സോഷ്യൽ ഡിമാൻഡ് വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പോഴും നമുക്ക് കുറെ കൺഫ്യൂഷനും ഒക്കെ നമ്മുടെ മുമ്പിൽ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അത് മുഴുവൻ മാറ്റാൻ കഴിയുന്ന രീതിയിലുള്ള ഒരു എവിഡൻസ് ബേസ്ഡ് ആയ ഒരു എക്സ്പോഷറാണ് ഇപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് കിട്ടിയിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഇത് തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും നമ്മുടെ നടത്തിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ആക്ടിവിറ്റിയിലും ഇനി നമ്മൾ പ്രതീക്ഷിക്കുന്ന 3ാം വേവിൽ കുട്ടികളെ ചലഞ്ച് ഉണ്ടാകാൻ സാധ്യതയുള്ള വേവിലും ഒക്കെ നമ്മൾ വളരെ കോൺഫിഡന്റ് ആയി നമ്മുടെ പ്രോട്ടോകോൾ അപ്ഡേറ്റ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ നമുക്ക് മുന്നോട്ട് പോകാൻ കഴിയുന്നൊരു കോൺഫിഡൻസ് ആണ് നമുക്ക് കുട്ടികളെ പോലെ ചടുലനായ കുട്ടികളെ ഡോക്ടർ നമുക്ക് തന്നിരിക്കുന്നത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഈ ക്ലാസിന്റെ ആ ഒരു നോളജ് നമ്മുടെ ഇനി മുതലുള്ള എല്ലാ ആക്ടിവിറ്റിയിലേക്കും, അത് പുതിയ പ്രോജക്റ്റുകളുടെ രൂപത്തിലായാലും പ്രോഗ്രാമുകളുടെ രൂപത്തിലായാലും നമുക്ക് നടപ്പിലാക്കാൻ കഴിയട്ടെ എന്ന് ആശംസിക്കുന്നു. ഓക്കെ സജി.
ഡോക്ടറെ അപ്പൊ അവസാനിപ്പിക്കാം. താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്.
അവസാനിപ്പിക്കാം.
Thank you.